Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mills, and today I want to do a video about things that I didn't realize weren't normal or weren't the best about the United States or living in the US until I moved out of the country. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. I would love to hear if you agree or disagree with me. Before I get started, if you can take a second to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, give me a like, a comment, anything will definitely help me out, so I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, as you guys know, I moved from New York to the Dominican Republic in 2017. I actually moved back to the US in 2019, and I miss the DR every single day. This video is not meant to hate on the US. I have to give my disclaimer. If you guys know, like my video, what I don't like about living in the DR, I had to do crazy disclaimers because people think that I'm speaking in such definites, like interpreting it as I hate this country. I'm just saying that these things aren't normal for me personally. This is my own experience, my own opinions, so please don't think that I'm hating on an entire country or countries. Thank you. If you guys have been here for a while, you know why I'm doing those disclaimers. So I would say the first big thing, now I'm comparing the United States and the Dominican Republic. If you move to the United States to a different country, then of course you're gonna have a different experience. And these are personally things that I prefer from the DR, but there are things that I prefer from the US too. Number one, when I moved there, I instantly had a lot of downtime, right? So before school started, I was like chilling. And every day when I wasn't like working or didn't have something to do and I didn't know anyone yet, so I didn't really have anything to do, I felt so useless. I was like, I should be doing something, I should be busy. And even when I did start making friends and we had like the weekends off, we would just like hang out on Saturday, right? And like actively doing something. It was hanging out, sitting around, talking outside, right? If you are familiar with it, then you know Dominicans love to sit outside and talk. The plastic chair, that's not a stereotype for nothing. Everyone sits outside, they chill, they talk, and I was not used to that. I knew it was part of the culture because I had traveled before, but once you live there and you have a job, and this is like your new home, you feel like, okay, I need to be doing something at all times. I would feel guilty, like, okay, no, I should be working, or, you know, I have, like, I could lesson plan for tomorrow, or have this to do or that to do. And it took me a while, and I still struggle with it because I always feel like I should be doing something, or at least multitasking. So if I'm talking and hanging out, at least I could be like kind of working too, or on my phone and doing something or whatever. But after some time, I got used to the idea that you don't always have to be doing something, and Dominicans really do have a lot of downtime. Not everyone, but it's a culture where they just enjoy talking to each other, they hang out, they have time to relax, and I really appreciate that now. And I don't think it's normal to work as much as we do in the US or to feel like guilty or bad when we do have downtime. I don't think that's a normal feeling. And a lot of other countries, not just DR, have a lot more free time than we do. Some countries in Europe have a 4-day work week, or they have extended lunches, lots of vacation time. In DR, for example, my husband is an engineer, and at his office job, he would come home for 2 hours for lunch. And I would be like, what are you doing? Like, go, you have to go back to work. He would like eat for an hour and then sleep for an hour. And I was like, this is unheard of. I realized that kind of like work culture is definitely not normal. All right, something else that I don't think is normal, well, I know is not normal, and this is kind of a depressing one, is the fear of guns that I have. So one of the first weeks that I was there, I went to the school after hours and the security guard was there. Now, if you know the DR, most schools, banks, like public places or private places will have a security guard out front, and they all have a shotgun. They're just hanging out with a shotgun. And when you first move there, you're like, I see so many guns. Like, there's so many security guards out front of buildings with big shotguns. Like, that's not normal in the state. And I was sitting at the picnic table in the cafeteria, and the security guard came up to me. I was the only one there, and he was like, can you watch this for a second? I'm going to the bathroom. And I was like, watch what? And he gave me a shotgun and then like 3 cases of bullets, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch that for you. He's just gone for like 30 minutes. And I was like, all right, this is not normal. Because in the States, guns are like, they have so much power here, I feel like, but I don't know how to even explain it, but I don't see anyone in the States like giving me their gun, right? Was it the safest thing for him to do? Probably not, but they don't fear guns as much because they don't have the gun violence like we do. Another example is I went to a baseball game with my friend in San Pedro, and it was super fun. You know, like they get so pumped, which I loved. And then the home team had a run, and all of a sudden I hear machine guns, like I am down, like instant reflex, I'm down. And my friend was like, she was American too. She was like, what are you doing? Oh, I forgot. Every time I take an American to this baseball game, they freak out when they hear that. And yeah, I forgot. It's because you're American. It's their celebration. And it terrified me. I can't even express to you like how scared I was. I was like, well, this is it. Goodbye. It was fun while it lasted. But no one else was scared, and no one else was like, oh, it's a mass shooting, because other countries don't have as many mass shootings as we do. So yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal. And I'm not a fan of like when I move back, especially right when I move back, when Chris and I would go to out to eat and it was crowded, or to the movies or to the mall, I was scared, like more scared than I was when I lived here before. I was like, there's gonna be a shooting. I didn't want to be in crowded places at all. And even still, I still think that when it's super crowded. Something that's kind of along those lines is a fear of the police. Now, don't come for me in the comments. I respect police officers, but there is an innate fear, I think, and I'm saying that as a white person, so picture a black person. When you get pulled over, oh my gosh, anytime I ever get pulled over in the States or even saw a police officer, everyone's instantly like panicked. But not there. People are paying off the cops there. If you get pulled over, you just offer them some money and you're good to go. Imagine doing that here, I would be in Guantanamo Bay probably. No, but really, like, I luckily never got pulled over in DR. I never had any really like interaction with a cop, but I would see them and I was like not fazed. Another thing that was unusual for me when I first moved there was the amount of time people spend cooking. My mom is a great cook. She cooked like my whole life, but not lunch. And I know it's reversed, like lunch is the big meal there and not dinner. But it was weird for me to see people go all out cooking for hours for lunch and sometimes dinner too. And a lot more emphasis on like fresh food, I would say, at least in my experience. Not as much processed food, or I wouldn't eat as much processed food there. There was more access to fresh meals. I don't think it's normal how much fast food and processed food that we have in the States. And then because we're so busy, we don't really have the time to sit down and cook and enjoy a meal together. And finally, in my experience, I think it's different cultures completely, but the lack of I don't know, Americans are friendly compared to other countries, but not compared to Dominicans, and we are so like kind of scared to talk to strangers. And I don't know if it's like because I grew up in like the stranger danger time or whatever, or like being scared of being kidnapped. Like I was so scared of being kidnapped. When I went to DR, everyone was like, don't get kidnapped. I didn't. And you would never like just go to someone's house here. Like my neighbors, right, would never be like, oh, come over for dinner randomly, right? Like we're on the street and I pass them by and they invite. No, like it's something planned. There, I can't tell you how many times like I woke up and I didn't know like where the day would take me because nothing's planned, like legit, or lots of things aren't planned, and I would end up at some random person's house for dinner, or they would say, hey, like you can spend the night, or oh, you need a ride? Like I'll take you, that's fine, don't worry about it. So many people would go out of their way and bring me places, and not just me. Like I'm not just saying, oh, it's because I was American. No, I would see this with Dominicans as well. Like if someone needed a ride to another city and that person was headed even remotely in the same direction, they would take you. So I don't know if it's normal. I'm not saying it's bad that we're not like that here. I kind of wish that we were more like that here, more friendly with strangers and more open and more willing to not like be so suspicious and on edge of like every person. This is just my experience. For example, if Chris was invited to go hang out somewhere, he was like, oh, you're coming. And I was like, no, ask the person if I can come, because like it was their idea, or it's at their house, or it's that girl's birthday and I don't want to like intrude, right? Like you need to ask her first. He's like, no, like we don't do that here. Just come. And it was always fine. No one was ever like, oh my gosh, like that was weird. Why did you bring her? Or why'd you bring 2 extra people? You didn't ask us first. And here you can't just show up at someone's house with an extra person, right? You would never do that. So I really like that. It's just like lower stakes there, you know, like everyone's welcome. It's chill. It doesn't have to be some like high pressure like thing, or planned out thing. Okay. So I think that's it. Those are all of the things that I realized were not normal for me personally in my experience when I left the country and moved to the DR. But I would love to hear what was not normal for you when you moved to the DR or another country, or vice versa. If you're in the US and from another country, what did you realize was not normal where you're from once you got here? I love learning about like cultures and different people's experiences and stuff. So feel free to comment below and we can discuss. Again, I don't mean any like hate or judgment or anything by this video at all, so don't take it like that. If you like this video or any of my other videos, please take a second to hit subscribe. I really appreciate that. It really helps me out. And turn on notifications, because YouTube doesn't always tell you when I post a video, probably because I don't have a schedule still, but that's okay. You guys will still watch, right? Hopefully. On that note, thank you so much for watching, and new videos every week. I will see you guys soon.